Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online, and we're here for a round 2 match, I think it is, between REELPOLANDPOWER, Stub, and LS3. Stub from the USA and LS3 from the UK, most probably England. I am using XSplit Broadcaster. I have not got a clue if it's functioning fully. I do know that I'm streaming. I don't know whether the chat's working. I'll only know that once somebody types something. Race to 200. Good evening, Mark. Chat's definitely working. Good evening, Dwight. I've been messing about with this all afternoon again, trying to get the replay to work, so we'll do a test in that fairly soon. Now, Steve sent me a message the other day. Unfortunately, he sent a message when I wasn't actually in VP4, and they never got back to me since. And I certainly don't go hounding him and begging him to come into the stream. So he never got back to me in the meantime, so I assume he's now busy. So it's going to be a solo act tonight. I was in Discord, but he never showed there either. Good evening, Albie. I don't have my lines tonight, my little doodle, because that doesn't function in XSplit Broadcaster. The feature on it doesn't function in here, so some of you might say, well, that's a good thing. Anyway, but we'll see how we go now. I gave LS3 your advice the other night there, and if she listens to it and sticks to that for the whole of this match, she'll make it tough for Stub. If she starts going for things she shouldn't be going for, she'll just play into his hands. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was messing about all afternoon and I was changing things, and I didn't have time to change that before the stream started because I hadn't tested the stream earlier on. So when I did test it, I had to re-log into Restream, and that's why I'm so late in getting into the match just at the start. So yes, she's got the wrong flag, but I just didn't want to mess about and start fiddling with this thing. I mean, I could, but you'd lose the stream while I do it. I could mess about and do it if that's what you want, but I mean, we know she's from the UK because I checked that. How's the volume level? Is the audio okay? The game audio okay? And the mic audio okay? Well, let's just hope, and I mean, I hope above everything that that this is better fare than what we had the other night, because that was another tortuous match to watch because there was no, well, you guys that stayed to see most of it, you know what I'm talking about. I won't go any further. So LS3's run was only 4. We've got a break ball. I'll use my donut. That's a better thing. The donut, there's your break ball there. At the moment, it could change. Well, Steve, as I say, you sent me a message the other day, and I suppose it's a good thing. You sent me a message while I was away about coming onto the stream, but I was away getting either dinner or lunch, I don't remember, and you never get back to me. But it might be a good thing that you're not in the commentary box, because I have a few things to say. Mainly about the settings in this tournament. It's making it tortuous to watch most of these matches, and we should have had the normal pockets, and that's all I'll say about it. We should have bailed it and restarted it, and we were a lot better than what we watched last night. 2.5 hours of crap, that's what we watched. Good evening to Hair Pig. Welcome anybody else I've missed, because I've got Restream chat up on my little monitor, and I've also got it overlaid on top of my live stream to see what's going on. I'm going to test this replay. This replay is probably knackered, but I'll try it anyway. So there's obviously a combo there, or a cut on the 5, but now Stubbs back in the same old routine here. He doesn't have a break ball unless he can get back down to this bottom rail, or unless he starts doing acrobatics with the cue ball to try and get into the pack from somewhere. Yes, I put it up bigger for the deaf and hard of hearing. I knew Steve was coming into the stream to watch, so that's so he can read the chat. But for anybody who doesn't know and isn't bothered about checking the stats, the high run for this tournament is currently held by Mr. Fox, fantastic Mr. Fox, a run of 87, which I have to say is above my expectations. And he did nothing in that match up until then, and he had to do it. So here we go with the spectacular to get on this 4-ball. So he's going to go next to the pocket on the left side and come back over to the right, but not too far because he wants to leave a high angle. And not that's beyond a bedhead cut, so he's dead and buried. And again, the pattern play doesn't get you there, I'm afraid. Good evening to Tommy. Right, so I'm going to do a test on this replay. It might be a bit juddery, I don't know, because I haven't tested it doing a live stream. I tested it when I recorded earlier this afternoon, and it was sort of passable. So you just have to bear with me, because this is a lot more complicated than XSplit Gamecaster, but I thought I'd update it today and give it a go tonight, and try to remember what the hell I was doing half the time. So, again, LS3 should be checking the pack before she plays any safeties, because you don't know what you're going to do. She hasn't called anything, so she's not spotted anything. And there's a mistake, and that cue ball needs to hold, and the 4-ball's still on. And that's why you've got to get that feather-like touch, cigarette paper touch on those balls in the pack before you create some sort of combo and nudge a ball out. And, Stubbs in a hurry. Now, it's probably worth the risk taking this 4-ball and just trying to cut it in slightly, come up to the left and fall short in that 12-ball, because that's the shot. Because if she goes beyond the 12-ball, she'll be hooked on it anyway. But that would be the shot to get the balls out, but she's going about it the other way, using the first ball. And that 9-ball is dead in the rail. That's going nowhere from there, I'm afraid. And that's the problems that you end up having when you start running into balls and stuff. Well, LS3, I think the problem, not just for LS3, but for a lot of players, is staying focused on what you're about. Sometimes a lot of these players get in the habit of potting a ball. You saw that the other night there. How many times did the players pot their break ball? And the reason they potted their break ball is because they never worked around it. And half the time when it got down to the nitty gritty, bang goes the break ball, and the run just ends. So there was no thought again. And LS3 has to stay concentrated and focused and think. With no shot clock, you've got all the time in the world to think about what you're doing. So there's no excuses. What happened to you, Moz? I bet you it wasn't a throat operation after all that yammering on that stream, was it, the other night? Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Well, at least she's got half a chance on this 9-ball. Good evening to Slim. I've got the chat very large, so if people start typing loads of stuff, I'm going to miss half of it. I don't mean large as you're seeing it on the screen. I'm talking about large as I'm seeing mine on my little second monitor. So quick look at this pack of balls here. There's nothing set. Not obviously set. Well, a race to 200 is an awful long way to go in Virtual Pool 4, but you know, there's Stubb having a lash again, trying to get into the pack. Now, this is where, in a shot like this, if you pot the 9, I would think you want to get low and follow it through as much as you dare. That way you can then escape back up the table. Now she's looking as if she's going to call this. Is that the 11 ball or the 13 at the end? I think it's the 11. By the way, somebody can keep me an update on the Ronnie O'Sullivan Trump match, because I don't have it on, and I actually switched it off as soon as the match started. Good evening to Mr. Hogg. I've got my players reversed. Now, what does that mean? What you mean in what they are in the HUD to what I've got on my screen? Who cares? I've got the flag the wrong way as well. I've got LS3 as a USA flag. As I say, this was a rush job at the end. Yeah, I'm trying to read chat and look at the screen at the same time, and then I've still to remember to do a replay. Right. When the next exciting thing happens, I'll do a replay. This might be it here. We'll see if it works. It'll probably fail again. I don't have much hope for it. Yeah, it was LS3 again. I'm looking backward and forward. You know, give me the benefit of the doubt here. I'm trying to do multitasking. Right, replay coming up. This will be dead in the water. Nothing will happen. I think that worked. Partially. I'll try it again. Now again, when I'm doing the replay, I'm watching what happened on my screen, and then I hit the button for the replay, and then I'm looking across at the second monitor. So it's good to see Twitch is working, YouTube is working. That's a poor one. That deserves a replay. Yeah, that worked. That'll do. That's acceptable. That's better than nothing. So LS3's going backwards, back to 8 points. Stubb on 11, and I don't think there's anything going unless he's going to smack into this one. And he's called a 9. Is he banking up the table, he thinks? Oh no, he could cut it. But again, running loose, trying desperately to get into the bunch. And these are the kind of things Stubb's more than happy to do. He's more than happy to run and be reckless and take chances. And, you know, this it's not the fact that he's reckless and going to take chances. LS3 doesn't want to get into the same habit. What she wants to be doing is punishing Stubb and picking off points. Because this tournament's for most players is all bits and pieces, so you've got to take more bits and pieces than your opponent does. If you do that, you're going to win. Yeah, is it not a total of 18 points for 3 fouls? I think it's 18 in total. The point each for the fouls you make, and then the penalty. The actual penalty for you committing 3 fouls. Stubb again looking as if he's lining up for the big crack. Yeah, I mean, look at this. There's a missed call. And look at all these bonus balls for LS3. And now, the obvious break ball this time would be the 7 behind the pack. And the 1 ball is a good ball if you had a decent little angle to come off the 1 ball and finish square in the 7. Now, you know, I'm talking as if I'm coming to the table, and that's immediately what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the 1 ball's a good ball to get to the 7, so that's maybe the way we should be working, but the problem's at 10 ball. 14 ball in the pack. And again, running out of options to get there and get rid of the 10. And the 1 isn't a combo with the 10 either. Well, the 10's okay as a break ball if you're going to get a nice angle in the middle of the table, but you've got to then obviously get rid of the 1, so you've got to get rid of either or, and then you're down to this stage where we assume that the 7 ball is going to be the break ball. And if that's the case, then the next 2 shots are the critical ones. The 7 ball is gone. And that's too straight. That's going to have to be, let's have a look. Yeah, that's going to have to be just dug in. Maybe a little bit of bottom. I don't know whether, now she looks as if she's going forward, just trying to come back, and it needs to slow up. It's just off the rail. You don't need to thump this, but you need to make sure you don't lie dead in the pack. It's always a problem. And all you want is 1 ball, and that will do. Now, even at this stage, this is an important visit. There's the 13 ball, the 8 ball, the 12 ball, and the 1 ball is a good ball to get things moving. So I don't know whether she can maybe just get good on that 1 ball at the moment. She's not. That might have been the best chance. In fact, looking at that, the 12 ball's a bit narrow. It's closing up the pocket slightly. Oh, that's going to hinder her. Just a little dink in to finish on that too. It's all just about that little soft touch. And that's again just a bit too heavy. Got to get that deft touch. And now she's going to have to try and force something here with very little angle to work with. And probably not a lot of movement. Unless she's going to hold the 1. And again, the touch isn't there. Well, this is a big commitment. Now this is where you've got to wind in the ambition. You either go all out and get it, or pay the price, and she's got it. And now this is a chance to build something here. It's a very good opportunity to put points on the board. And there's also good choices for break balls there. So now's the time to get your head together, know where you're going. And this is exactly what I'm talking about for LS3, to build something up. And the more she builds something up, you know what's going to happen. The more pressure goes on Stubb, the more risks he takes, the more he starts banging at balls, running the cue ball. And again, you can just, just pick him off, as they say in the States, or as they used to say in the States. It's probably old-fashioned now, but it's like stealing candy from a baby doing it that way. As long as you just run and hide, once you've got your points and don't do anything daft, stands to reason at the end of the day you're going to go over the finishing line first if you keep doing that and sticking to that rule. So, 2 very good break balls, and I think that 5 ball's going to go now, because that's the best opportunity to get rid of it and leave the 6 ball. Don't be drawn into it. And then you're in business. So where's the best ball to get on that 6? If you start cutting the 7, you're going to start running the cue ball. And this is where you've got to be careful. Well, I think I first heard stealing candy from a baby in a 50s movie. I think that's, and it was from the States. Now the 9 clearly is tight past that 14. So now the critical one. And now again, the further you've got to move this cue ball, the better your control has to be and weight to get in this good shape for this 6. Back into the middle of the table. That needs to spin, it needs to spin, and it needs to keep going. Oh, these are the testy ones on these pockets. I'd bottle out that, I wouldn't go for that. I'll tell you that right now, I wouldn't even give it a second look. I'd be running and hiding. And then you'll say, well, that's probably why you won't win the match, but there's knowing when to wind it in. You built up a 20-point run. Nice, handy little lead. LS3's not hanging back. That was a brave one. She who dares wins. And that 13 ball isn't set. Nowhere near it. That was a brave one. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to put my clock on. It doesn't matter. My match timer, I forgot to. See, that's how bloody rushed I was before the start of this thing. When I had to reset and reconnect my restream to this, because I hadn't used it for months, then everything backed up, so I just had to get started. By the way, has anybody told me the latest score in the O'Sullivan match, Trump match, please? ITV4 it's on. Now, what's she doing here? Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. But it's a run of 22, and it's a deficit that Stubbs to make up, and he's got plenty to choose from. But let's see how he goes about it again. So we've got a troublesome 3 ball there that's the major problem, because it's blocking a whole load of balls into that pocket unless you start trying to get in behind him from the bottom end, which is probably cutting your options and what's available to do. So I would have got rid of the 3 as soon as. And again, he's running into balls, and now he's going to have to play a combo or play the 2. Now, Again, I missed the chat. Did anybody post the score for the match? O'Sullivan 3, Trump 2. Good. Well, they're not hanging about. That's five frames. And there would a 15-minute interval in between. Now again, there's a blocking ball. Stubbs going to get rid of it now. Let's have a quick look at that 7 ball, because I think that's nailed. That is glued to the rail. And he needs to nudge that more than anything, rather than trying to get good on it. But again, running out of options to do that. That's going to scupper Stubbs' chances of progressing in this rack if he doesn't get into that 7 ball. And there's nothing really in good shape there. Probably the best bet would be the 5. Now he's missed the 14. Once again, mistakes like that, a run of 6. And LS3 just has to keep chipping away and just putting those little balls in the bag, getting them on the scoreboard, punishing the mistakes. And that's how you will win. It's a simple process. You do the things right and let your opponent do the things wrong and just keep capitalising on it. So we know the 7 ball is stuck. It's glued. You've got to play a really sweet shot to get that to stick to the rail. But there's no harm in running for cover off that 7 ball. You know, if you get below the 7, you can use the pack to hide. Well, it looks as if she's committed. And of course, again, we've got a problem. We've got 2 balls encroaching in the pack. The 10 ball is in the pack. That's no good. There's nothing there that is any good as a break ball. So the one solution would be to get rid of one of them, one way or another. And I think there's an angle to drop over this side to get rid of one. There's a last chance to maybe nudge something into play, but other than that, then you've got to think about locking the cue ball into the pack for ball in hand. And I don't think that's really helped the situation. I think that 15 ball's way too tight to the pack. It's very tight, that 15 ball, as to whether it's actually going to be, I think it's going to be left there, but I think she's going fairly, no, she's got a slight angle. And again, don't go forward, whatever you do. One of those little stun draws to control the pace coming off the pack. Don't know whether she'll get much out of this pack though, with the angle she has. Oh, those 2 balls looked as if they were going to split and open up the 8 and the whatever ball it is behind it, but there's nothing doing. But the 2 does go. And again, you've got to be careful you don't just finish in the back of the pack here if you're hitting this plain ball. You don't want to run into the back of the pack. You'll end up nothing. Right into that 7 and 9 ball, right in the middle there. Well, she's avoided those, got the pace, got a bonus ball, and has a shot to continue. And that 11 and 8 are dead set. So once again, you don't have to start moving balls. You get rid of the 12 to open the pocket, and you leave the 11 and 8 there for the time being. There's no alarm bells ringing with that set up. Don't know where he is on Discord. Who are we talking about? Did I miss something there? What did I miss in the chat? My chat's so large there's only like 2 messages on it and then it disappears. But that way I can read it on the second monitor. Now this 14 ball's got half a pocket. Now that is not great. It's not great because you can't see the 12 enough. Now let's have a look up the table. She's trying to squeeze into this 12, but what about jacking over the 9? And well, that'll do it. I was looking at an alternative option here, jacking over the 9 and been desperate to play a kick in the combo in the 8. OPS was telling Steve to commentate. Steve was saying he doesn't. I know I'm not in Discord. I was before the match started, but then I had to get this fixed. I was on waiting and nothing happened. You want me to? Do you want me to tab out and get it on and get him in, so you all can have a good rant at him? He's probably got his shin pads on in his box and everything ready for the abuse. So once again, we know there's a combo there. And the combo's going to have to go now because there's no shape there for anything. Well, that combo's dead set, and it just needs to be gentle because the 4 ball is there if needs be, but as long as it's gentle, you can still fall back in the 11 ball to get out of there. That needs to keep running. So the 4 ball at the moment is the favourite for the break shot because there's nothing there good at all. Right, just give me a minute till we see what happens here. Now that 10 ball will get brushed to the bottom rail, I think, unless you come straight back off the 7. Or is it the 10 ball? I think it's the 10. And by the way, I don't know whether Discord works with this either, because that's not been tested, but we'll soon find out. Well, it's now going to be the 10 ball. And again, that 1 ball isolated in the middle of the table. Got to get good on it to be able to come back here. And that looks good enough to me. Or is it? Maybe not. It just hasn't quite got there. If it went another inch and a half. I suppose you could be ambitious and try drawing back to the rail with bottom right English to kick it that way. But then you risk scratching. That's just plain English. And, well, if LS3 had maybe took my advice, it might have been risky, but she might have had a better chance of getting there. It is a risky shot to do that, to try and deviate the cue ball as such. Right, so just to safety, right, back in a second, guys, just hang on. Oh dear, the volume's coming out the. I can hear you, but you're coming out my speakers. Hang on a minute.
I had it on at my Switch.
Yeah, this is no good. Wait a sec. Is it the bottom one again? To wait a minute to get there. This is what happens when you start using different software. Then Discord doesn't recognise it now. Where's the voice and audio input device?
So you're not using Discord anymore?
Speakers. Right. Go again, Steve.
I said you're not using Discord anymore?
No, the thing is, I'm using Discord, but I'm not using XSplit Gamecaster, the old Gamecaster that I'm using. I'm now using, what do you call it, Broadcaster for tonight. But the problem with using that is that I've then had to go through a setup with the audio again. Now I've got you coming through my headset. That's fixed that problem. Now I need to look at your volume because you're really quite loud to me. Don't touch volume your end. I'm just going to touch it down my end and see what the guys think in a minute.
Yeah, I've already got it pretty high on my end.
Right, so I'm going back into the game. And we'll now get a sound check from our viewers. You can let us know what you think, guys.
Testing. Shouldn't be echoing. Hopefully it's not echoing.
Steve got louder but started echoing. Right, everybody, right.
Little echo.
Dwight says it's good. Larry says a little echo.
Like it makes me sound cool echo or irritating echo?
Yeah, it'll do. Right. Okay, where have we got to? LS3 on 51. Stubborn 17.
Well, that's a pretty good safety if she didn't leave one of those balls by the pocket. Yeah, that's...
It was Stubb that played that. Now, are we in sync here?
Yeah, well, she's in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's much trouble to actually just roll down onto that 2-ball. I don't think there's much damage going to be done there.
Yeah, so she got on the wrong side of it. I mean, that was the right idea. She just hit the one ball too thick.
And
I mean, that's kind of a standard one pocket shot.
Yeah, but I don't know why she actually had to hit the other ball first. Why couldn't she just go to the side rail and roll onto the 2? You're going to hit a rail anyway.
I would have done that off the 1. I mean, it just gives you a better angle coming into the 2. But you know, again, if you don't play a lot of one pocket, then you know, getting that angle can be a little tricky. I mean, if you play one pocket a lot, that shot's like automatic.
Are you watching the stream, Steve, or are you just in the room like me?
I'm both.
Right, that's good. We'll see if the replay works again in a little while. Once again, there's nothing in the cluster of 5 there.
I didn't like that shot. I would have shot the 9 and then the 6-1 combo just because not only did he get rid of a break ball, but he got rid of a ball that could have been used to break that cluster up if he needed to.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm talking about, Steve. You know, thinking ahead and where you're going rather than thinking, bail myself out immediately here by doing the daft thing and potting the break ball. You know, now he's running and now he's almost scratched.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that sort of thing's easier to do in VP4 than real life with the stroke you have, but you see the danger in that. I mean, he's lucky he didn't scratch. Well, I mean, Stubb doesn't play straight pool. I don't think LS3 plays much either. I mean, just based on what I've seen. I mean, straight pool, there's a lot of subtlety to the game, and that's why it's hard, to play it well. Is even if you pocket balls well, I mean, just how you move the cue ball, which patterns you play. It takes a lot of practice.
Well, he's got rid of one problem and created two more.
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems with breaking up balls is that you can create more clusters. And one old timer told me once, he said, get rid of the balls that are loose or more of them, because if you break the clusters up with a lot of loose balls around, then they can end up like this. So, he needs to start thinking about break ball. I mean, the 6 is the best. I mean, 7 then 6 would be good, or 5 then 6. And, he just shot his break ball. So
Yeah, 3 and 4 are dead. They're going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, he can leave this one ball on the rail. He can use that for a break ball.
And now he's going to try and break out the 3 and 4 off this dead straight 5.
Yeah, and he should be able to. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You just don't want to hit him real easy. You get stuck on him, and that would be a problem.
Yeah,
you hit this with some speed.
Got to get it moving, open him up. He's missed it.
Well, that 4 ball may go.
Let's have a look.
I think that 4 ball will go. It's tight, but I think you can throw it in.
Well, from that angle, I think that's probably about as good a spot you could get to get it, and that's what's happened. He's misjudged it.
Yeah, he got too much 3 ball. I mean, it was probably a given that he was going to get 3 ball first, but he got too much of it.
Well, this is the same scenario as earlier. Stubbs still in a deficit. LS3's got the important shot coming up in a second or two and a chance to stretch that lead.
This one ball is a good break ball. Well, it's not a good break ball, but it's an acceptable break ball.
That wasn't the best of shots, though.
No. She needs to leave the cue ball. Well, between the first and second diamond on either side. She's looking at the 1 ball, which I don't like. Yeah, I mean, it was a little tight getting that 3, but I thought she could have finessed it around there.
Now the problem,
but, that 1 ball, a bad break ball. The key to breaking with a ball like that is you don't want to come straight back up into rack, because that's how you get it stuck on it. So what you'd want to do with that is hit it with a lot of inside English and create an angle coming off the rail, so that when it hits the rack, the cue ball separates. Look at this.
Well, I don't know whether Stubb was trying to, where he's finishing the 1 isn't great. If I had he potted that 3, I thought he might have tried to get into the pack with the cue ball and break it from ball in hand.
Well, she needs to think about this, because she needs to get above that 1 ball. And she didn't. Yeah, she can still break it here. At least from this angle, she's going to come into the rack at an angle and not get stuck. She needs to come off the long rail, though. Not that way.
She might draw off the pack into the corner now.
Yeah, she needed to come off the long rail. She needed to cut that ball and come off the long rail into the bottom of the rack.
Yeah.
It's just... I'm not trying to be overly critical. I mean, it's just... she obviously hasn't played a lot of straight pools, so you know, it's tough. Just being able to pocket balls and move the cue ball around is not going to make you a good straight pool player.
Yeah, just a contribution of 2.
Well, you know, if she can start making a little better decisions on how she's playing these racks and getting on the break ball, Stubb's going to be in real trouble because she pockets balls and moves a cue ball good enough that she could, you know, do some damage.
Uh, 10 ball, let's just say it doesn't really go, so.
Yeah, the 15 ball goes though. I mean,
Yeah, I think that I don't think the 2 of them will stay there because of this cluster of the 2 clusters in the pack.
it's like a little puzzle. She really needed to get above the 14 on that so that she could get the cue ball running into the 2 and split up that 2-4-5. And you really want to do it from the side because if you do it from the other side, then you move those balls into the 15 and 10, which is, you know, not desirable.
Now you're worrying me, Steve, when you're saying she, because I'm looking at Stubb. Are you looking
I'm
on?
sorry.
Oh, thank God for that, because I was out of sync the other night when I was streaming, and it was one of the guys in the stream that told me I had no clue I was out of sync. I was watching the wrong player.
Oh no, I never know who's shooting. Yeah, he bumped those balls and now they're sitting not good at all. I mean, this is a real problem.
Yeah, nothing goes.
Well, I mean, they go up table. He's going to probably try to bump them now. The 4 and 5 ball go up table. I don't think that 14 goes by.
Nope.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, he's really screwed this up because all he had to do is get on the high side of that 14, and it was real easy to spread that cluster up.
He's going to go 2 rails here, I think.
But, you know, I mean, you really got to think of it as a little puzzle. Wow, look at that. That ball wasn't close to going in.
Yeah, I think he was too busy thinking about trying to leave the right shot on this 8 ball to come across and into them. Or to finish on the right side to.
Yeah, at this point, though, if you can get on that 8 ball and use it to spread those, that's what you have to do. And she's gotten straight in, so this is, you know, yeah, this is tough. She can roll forward and bank the 14. Leave a little angle just so you can get into the 2-4, and there'll be a shot on that 5 ball. Or you can play safe. Or you can try something crazy. Well, moving that 14 ball over to the rail and put the cue ball right on top of the 2 and 4 is not a bad play. Well, she's going to shoot this.
What's she called? She called the 14 where though?
14.
In the opposite corner?
Bank shot, yeah. Well, this is tough. I would be playing safe here. I don't think the safety is really that tough. Yeah, see, there was a lot of problems with balls interfering and stuff.
Well, that's the safety, Steve. You know, see it. Look at the way it's fell. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I see how it fell, but he'll probably cut this 5 ball in.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should. I think she should have played safe there. I mean, even if she screwed up and didn't get the 14 to the rail, at that point, you know, I mean, she still doesn't sell out.
Well, that's a rarity you're going to see in this match, I think, safeties. So Stubbs looking to run up the table, I would think, to try and get good on this 2-ball.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to have to go the rail route again.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good angle to shoot this shot, bring it into the rack. I mean, there's a chance you're going to scratch doing this. Unless he hits the top of the rack. If you hit the side of the rack, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to scratch. Well, there's a chance. It's not like 80% or something. It's more like, maybe 30 or 40%. Just sort of depends on the angle at which ball you hit.
Well, there's a surprise. He's called a safety.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. Pocket the ball, leave the cue ball up table. That might be the first smart thing he's done this match.
Well, he's back to within 20. So Stubbs' task at the moment is just getting rid of the deficit and not giving an easy innings for LS3 to start tallying him up again.
What the heck is he doing?
He's trying to just go behind the pack.
The 2-ball. Call safety and make the 2.
Now I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know.
When you call a safety, you don't have to call a pocket. Why does he keep calling a pocket?
If he hangs us in the pocket, he's going to be sorry because he's going to get, potentially angled.
Yeah, he's called the 2-ball, called the safety, and he still hasn't made up his mind what he's doing.
I think that's a good play, playing safe here, but I don't know what he's waiting for.
Well, maybe he's trying to slow the game up. He's making a good job of it.
Yeah, well, who knows? He doesn't usually play this slow, so
Maybe he can't shoot, as happens on occasions, and he's wondering how to fix it. But
he's played enough to know that, cabbing out and coming back.
It's not letting him to uncall safety. Do you not just control S again to get rid of the safety? Is that not what you do? I mean, not control S, control in bracket to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think that will get rid of it.
Right, do you think I should tell him or just let him work it out? Well, he's played anyway, so.
Yeah, he didn't want to hit it that hard. He wanted to leave the cue ball up, in the kitchen. He wasn't going to be able to get on the end rail, but he could, I thought, left it maybe at the second diamond.
Control and T.
Well, I don't really like that play because then he's just going to go up table with it.
What's he saying? It's my shot. I mean, what did I miss there?
What do you mean?
You just cheated.
Control T. Well, it's not Control T.
No, it's past turn. But why should LS3? Why is he saying she cheated?
Because that's the way he is.
No, but I mean, he's misunderstanding what he's done, and misunderstanding what LS3 option is, which is just to carry on, and she's done nothing wrong as far as I can see.
I don't know. Anything goes wrong, somebody's cheated or it's BS or whatever. I mean, he's saying Control T.
Where's that square bracket?
Well, I see what Herpig's saying, but the game says he was playing safe. You can't, you know.
That's not the right bracket. It's a square bracket. What the hell button do you press? Shift. Let me try that. Oh, no, I'm not going to.
I believe it's just control right bracket.
Yeah, I'm not going to type again. I'm not going to start messing about in the chat.
But I don't see that's how that's her cheating. I mean, you know.
Anyway, there's still 20 points difference.
I guess if we would have understood what was going on, we could have told him what to do.
Well, exactly, because I don't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, the simple thing is, he managed to get the safety call, but then he couldn't work it out to uncall it.
Well, he wasn't muted. He could have asked the question, but instead he just...
Well, he did say, what did he say? It's not letting me uncall a safety. I'm playing the 2-ball.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, it's okay. He needs an excuse. When he loses, then he can say, BS, you cheated.
Now he's going to go for the big heave-ho here just to try and get into them. He's going to leave that 5-ball there, I think, and give it a smack. Oh, no. Well, there's a surprise. Oh, now I don't know what he's trying.
I don't know. I think the 13 ball may go in the side pocket off the 4. It's sitting pretty good.
Let's have a look. 13 in the side off the 4.
Yeah.
Never in a month of Sundays is that going into the side pocket.
You don't think so?
No.
You think it's high?
No, that's nowhere near it. But then again,
it looks like it's going right at the outside tip.
That's
maybe a little inside it.
That's something an experienced elderly straight pool player would see and go for.
Yeah, well, I mean, playing balls off other balls, and you know, I mean, throwing balls and all that. It's tricky. It's a lot harder than it looks to do. I mean, I've missed a lot of balls, but that's kind of how you learn, is missing a lot of balls.
Reasonable length and a safety there from LS3. Stubb needs to watch where he's brushing this 1 ball.
That was a good shot. That was tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, he hits that a little thick and he's gone.
Now, this is, again, what I keep going on about, what none of the guys in the last match even bothered about, is getting length in the safety shot. Makes it 100 times more difficult to get it good when you're hitting a pack.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad play there, because what's that done is it makes it tough for him to go up table. So, I mean, you know, if you're going to leave the ball closer to the rack, that's what you want to do, is put a ball out there where it's, you know, not possible to go up table without giving it up.
Again,
this kind of situation usually devolves pretty quickly to where someone's going to get a shot. It's not going to be too many back and forth.
Something's going to get nudged into play or set up.
Well, there we go, right there.
Well, Stubbs going to go for the 12. And this is just eating into LS3's early lead.
Yeah, in general, you really don't want to move balls unless you have to in straight pull. And when you do it, you want to bump them gently and in control. You know, if you've got a cluster, you might have to hit it harder and but you're still playing for a shot on something else. I mean, what he's doing is he's just blasting into him and hoping he comes up with a shot, and then if he doesn't, he's going to say, "Bullshit, unlucky." And it's not, because every time you take a run at balls out of control, you're taking a chance where you may not come up with a shot. So when it doesn't work, you're not unlucky. You're just not playing the right way.
Well, 3 balls good enough as a break shot. 7 ball would be good to get to from the 3 ball if you're going to go behind the pack for a break shot. 8 ball might be okay. Well, 8 ball's gone.
I don't like the 8. Those breaks on the side are tough, but 7 or 3, they're both good. Well, it's not going to be the 7 since he looks like he's going to shoot it.
Well, he's got an easy. Well, he had an easy ball. He's got one more remaining to get good on it. That 3 ball.
Got rid of it. The biggest issue with the 3 ball as a break ball is just that you've got to get to the side rail, and there's just not a lot of space for error. I mean, if it's away from the rail a little more, you can leave that 2 to last up table, and it's real easy to get on it. Where the 3 ball is now, it's a little touchier. He's got a good angle here.
Trailing by 6. Be
able to get a shot probably just above the side pocket. Oh, he's way under hit cut.
Yeah, he's going to.
Yeah, he needed to go more forward and hit it harder.
He needs to hit the corner of the pack if he can. If he goes into the back, he'll be dead. I don't know whether he can get the corner from this angle. You try and squeeze that into the corner of the pack without going to a rail.
The problem is coming up with a shot. He looks like he may have. Because you're not going to, that was about as good as he was going to hit it.
He's in nothing. Nothing at all. He's going to have to run for cover. Unless he does a stub cut in that 4, which is not on. That's never on. I know
that's a little too tough, I think.
He's puzzling where to go to hide this cue ball.
Yeah, I don't see anything, obviously.
I mean, you could just stun onto the 1 ball, lock it onto the 1 off this 12. I don't think there'd be any damage done there. But he's got to nail it on the 1 ball.
Yeah, right. That's tough. I mean, it's tough to do that without fouling.
See you later, Cobra. Thanks for watching. And that'll do it.
Yeah, that's an excellent play.
Because that's got LS3. It's given her a lot more to think about with this shot. Now again, lose a point, don't give him a shot, would be my advice.
Here's what an experienced player would do. They'd look at this rack, try to find something that's potentially could go if it was moved a little, and then just bump the cue ball into the rack. Because you're taking a foul with the intent of possibly setting up a carom or something.
That's a good.
Or you could be really good and do that.
That was a good shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good shot.
Yeah, but as I said, Steve, that in all the other matches, I've yet to see anybody, using that thought process. And it's a simple process. It's a lot easier just to sacrifice 1 point than doing something dumb and giving away 30 odd points. Letting your opponent in.
The problem with going down the fouling path is that
you can leave yourself open to trouble, but again, it might be a only resort.
Your opponent can just foul back.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You're going to get to 3 first, so just fouling to foul is not a good strategy in straight pull. But if you're fouling with some other purpose, it could be.
It's knowing when to take that choice. You have to leave all options open to yourself, especially into these little safety battles, because one wrong move, you're leaving a shot.
Well, I mean, if she wants,
I'll tell you something.
She can just bump the 8 ball here.
That 14
hit it
doesn't
straight
go.
into the rail real easy. That's probably what I'd do here. I mean, you could shoot the 5, but it's an awful thin cut. That's what she's going to do.
We've got to get this really, really thin because that's going to go to the jaw.
Yeah, it's not ridiculous.
Got
I mean,
it.
It was there. She got it.
And
well,
she's,
now let's see if she can take advantage of, winning that safety battle.
Yep. Perfect situation to capitalise and just open that lead again.
Yeah, she needs to figure out how to do something with that 2 and 9. That's sort of the key to this rack, is getting those balls opened up, because right now they block the 10, they block the 11, all these balls that would be good for bumping into the 6, 7. So, I mean, that's kind of how I look at a rack. I'll say, okay, well, if I wanted to break that 6, 7 and keep the 13, what's the easiest way? Well, the 10 ball or the 11 ball. So, you kind of work from the problem areas and how to get to those. Well, she got that fixed. Of course, she broke the 13 up, but she replaced it with the 6, so that's okay.
She might be trying to just spin into the 7 here. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I would have shot the 14 up table there, because I don't think she needed to. I think that impatience, that's a hard thing to learn in straight pool, is not to try to fix problems like immediately, unless they're sitting real good, because that was risky, and she's pushing balls into other balls, and
yeah, she's gonna try something again here, I think, off that 4.
I know for me personally, that was one of the things I really struggled with, is I was always trying to get to the problem right away, and
I mean,
that turns out to usually not be the best paradigm.
She's done the right thing there, getting on that 11. She's gone a wee bit straight though. Might be able to get a brush on. I mean, the worst thing that can happen here is just brushing onto the 9 and still having a shot in the 6, but that gets rid of the ball that's in the pack anyway. It's not a break ball.
She can bump the 2 ball here if she wants. She decided better of it right now. She's gonna go from the 14.
Well, I think I would have gone for it, considering I had a bailout shot.
Well, this isn't terrible. You just got to be a little bit careful on how you hit these, because
that will do it.
Yeah, the 2 ball was the one to hit.
Now, how about that 7 ball at the head of the pack as a break shot?
Yeah, 7 ball sitting good.
2 ball at the back of the pack, probably going to go down.
She doesn't have any automatic way of getting to it, but I think she's probably going to use the 14.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's okay. I mean, this can be rescued easy enough. Just drop the 7 into the side.
She needs to hit this with left English and get below it, because she did not get below it. She needed to hit that with more English and get below it. Now, it's going to get trickier.
This 6 ball might be heading towards the pocket when she brushes in this 7.
I think she can come up with a shot if she hits it easy. She hit it too hard. Yeah, she was going to have to take more angle on the break shot, hit that easy.
I think it's way too straight.
And, this is the thing, is, I mean, LS3 is a pretty good player, but she's not aware of where the ball's going, or she just didn't figure she could come up with a shot.
Yeah, there we go. See that as a replay. Yeah. There you go.
And that would be in the category of not knowing where the cue ball is going.
Yeah, but it's still in this bits and pieces setup that we have. 12 is still adding to your lead. And Stubbs got nothing.
Yeah. Now, what I probably would have done there is I probably would have done a 2-railer into the side of the rack and try to just skim it, take the cue ball up table. And if you miss it, you fouled, but you're no worse off since Stubb already fouled.
Well, you're talking about the shot that snooker players play when they're trying to play safe off the pack and get back to baulk.
Yeah, it's 2-railer off the side of the pack. You try to hit it, but the thing is if you can go real thin on it, and if you miss it,
it's
no big deal because
you're only losing a point.
Stubb was on 1 foul before her.
Well, again, dead straight in the one, so you can't do anything. There's nothing in the pack, I don't think. So you run for cover. Just a simple process here. Take what you can get and run. There's nothing coming out of the pack. When she's trying to get the cue ball moved, might have left a combo. That's dead set. Where's the cue ball going? That is dead set, I think, into the corner. The 6 and 14. I think it'll go. It looks as if it's going to the jaw.
Pretty good.
There's a little gap
hit
though.
The six into the left side of the pocket. That's the aim line. 6 into the left side of the pocket, and the 14's going in.
Yeah, when you look at it from this side, it's not on. When you look at it from the pocket, but
it's just a very slight angle on the 6. It just needs to go on even to the 6 into the left tit, and it's good.
Oh, cue ball running forward. That'll do.
Watch that.
That's a lucky break there because you just don't want to put that spin on. You just fizz off the pack and into the corner pot. You would have done last year with shots like that. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think a lot of players miss, the whole 3 foul thing in straight pool. I think, well, geez, guy just fouled. I've got cue ball in hand on the table with nothing to do. This is a terrible situation. But what you got to realize is that being on a foul first is a real problem if you play your strategy right. Because otherwise, you'd look at it just like you look at other games and go, well, I've got ball in hand and the rack's all together, and this is just like a break shot, and this sucks. This isn't fair, but it is. The fact that your opponent has a foul already is huge.
Might be well, she doesn't do anything crazy, just a 4-ball, a long 4-ball to follow.
Yeah, she can just roll this, or she can go up table. I mean, in VP, people are going to roll that a lot. Real life, they probably go up table and come back down on between the 11 and the long rail.
Now, but just a little bit awkward here in terms of making the mind up where to go. The 4 balls, it's not the angle to take her onto the 15, but that's perfect to get rid.
See, that's how you want to bump balls. That's nice and under control. You're coming up with a shot on the 7. Got to be a little bit careful here because you got to make sure you hit 12 and then 10. Make sure you're going to come up with a shot. You don't want to go in between the gap there. Well, she got away with it.
How does that?
I think she hit it hard enough she was going to come up with something. I mean, that was a good decision to hit it at that speed.
2-ball is a 1 to work around. 10-ball behind the pack in the corner.
Yeah, I would leave the 11. I'd go 11 too. See, this is that situation I was talking about earlier where the 2-ball's not that close to the rail. So the ball up table, it's, not a bad way to get on that 2-ball.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people would be like, well, I'll use the 15. But the problem with that is, you get a little funny on that angle and all of a sudden you're in trouble. The 11 ball, you got more room, so you don't have to be as good on it, and you can still get a shot on the 2.
Yeah, so you've got to get an angle on this 11 though to get that cue ball.
You want to leave an angle, but you don't want to leave too much. I mean, but like I'm saying, because you've got some latitude. This is probably the worst thing she could have done is getting this angle. I mean, straight in or a little on the other side is better than this angle. A little more would have been fine, but you know what? No matter what, she's still going to come up with a shot here. Oh, see,
well, that's
that comes from trying to get too good on it.
Yeah.
I mean, she should have accepted the fact she was going to be thinner on it. She tried to get an easy shot on the 2-ball when it wasn't there.
Well, Stubbs got the same problem, getting good on it, checking up the cue ball, and he's going to end up dead straight.
It's funny seeing these mistakes because I've made every one of them in real life over and over and over again, like that trying to get too good on the ball and end up missing it. I mean, that's just... Yeah, you've got to have confidence in your ability to make that 2-ball with a little back cut. I mean, that's not a bad shot to have. I think she's got to shoot the 1-ball here. That 11 is not good. Oh.
I think he's dead. He's got a thin cut in the 3.
I'm saying C again. Yeah, he's okay. He got a shot on the 3. I think he should have shot the 1-ball there.
Now he's going to thump this in and draw to the pack. There you go.
Yeah, problem was he was never going to get into very many balls there. I mean, he did improve it a little, though, because the 4, 11, 1, 8, they all go in that one corner pocket.
Yeah,
but 13 goes in the side.
Yeah, but how do you get there if you don't get good on this?
Either
you take the 13 into the side.
Yeah, 8 or the 13. Both of them work.
See, if he wasn't stuck to the rail, he could have got there. He's got there now, and he's going to do the same again off the 4. Even though he should be getting probably rid of the 11 now that he's on it.
The 4 is sitting perfect to just sort of spread out these balls right here. Got to hit him with a little speed so you don't get stuck. But he's got the 13 ball there. Well, I wouldn't have hit him with that much speed. I mean, I think he could have potentially come up with a break ball if he didn't hit it so hard.
Now he's got to get good on these. Well, he's broke one of them. He can drop the 13 into the side, I think, still.
Well, he's created a break ball, so that was one of the things Willie Mosconi was really good at, is making break balls.
By the way, Steve, that's what I meant to ask you. See this, not Jason Shaw, but Schmidt, his high run. Did you ever get to see that anywhere, or see any of it? I'm not talking about.
I've seen video of it. I didn't see it in person.
Right. I've never seen any of it, and I've seen about 5 balls of Jason Shaw's run where a guy was doing a video on YouTube and he showed a clip of him breaking Schmidt's record at that point, and that was all it was showing. But Schmidt's video, I'm surprised it's never been uploaded for people to look at, because that's what I was talking to the guys the other day.
Schmidt was selling it.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't uploaded, because he sold it.
Oh, Shaw going to do the same thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know what's going on with it.
Anyway,
he can break off that 10 ball or 6 ball. I like the 10. You know, you get above it and you got to hit that ball with draw and curve it back into the rack to keep it from scratching. It's not going to be the 10. Unless he's going to shoot the 6 here.
Good evening to semi-pro.
He's just really screwed up. He could have had a break ball off the 10 pretty easy. He needed to get on the 6 and then shoot the 14, and now he had to get rid of his break ball, so now he's screwed.
Yeah, it was live on Facebook, but Facebook don't store the videos, do they? They just store the links to videos.
I don't know. I don't use Facebook like that, but I know you can you can post the videos back up. It doesn't have to be just live. When you stream them live, you can post them for view later.
So Stubb 13 behind, the run is 16.
Well, I think it's going to end right now, unless he wants to take a chance.
Oh, he looks as if he's lining up to smack this somewhere. He's right behind the pack.
I think he's playing safe.
I'll get into the pack. That'll do it.
Yeah, that 15's no good except for a break ball and one side pocket. That's the only place that's any good.
Nothing happening there. Well, how it's going semi-pro is LS3's had the lead for all of the match. Stubbs just been pegging back bits and pieces. He's still looking to get rid of that deficit. And he's still doing the same mistakes. I don't think the 15 doesn't go anywhere, no.
It goes in one side pocket, but not from where he is. The 5 ball will go off the 10, but it's not anywhere close to being dead. And he's not at a spot where he can shoot at that.
Well, the 8 ball doesn't get to the 9, so presumably he's not looking at the 9 ball, or he's looked at it and thought there's nothing set.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was worth making that 12 ball. That could be a mistake. That is real close. That may go. The problem is you're not going to move the balls much, but you could get the 1 ball to pop out here. I think you have to throw that 15 to get it to go in, but the 2's going to hit the 1 and the 1's going to pop out. Whether or not you can come up with a shot on it, I don't know. Oh, boy, she hit it hard.
She'll take that, though. That's a good result.
And she overcut it, and she got lucky. Oh, good thing he's muted, because there'd be a lot of BS and FTS going on.
Oh, Ronnie's 163.
Oh, God, that's so close to going, that 11 ball. That 10 is just in the way. That's too bad.
Let's have a quick look. Oh, Steve, that 11 ball will go.
No, the 10 ball's in the way. It's close, but I don't think.
Maybe you're right. Let's have a look from this side. Well, when you look at it from the left-hand side of the pocket, and when you're looking from the corner of the pocket, it looks as if you've got half a pocket to work with.
You do. The problem is that you can't shoot it that way. It's gonna, it'll go dead into the center, but you can't move it to the right side of the pocket the way it's sitting. The balls are too close together. Any cut you put on it, it's going to throw right back. It'll go right into the 10 ball.
Yeah, the other problem is the 14 ball's blocked by the 8. It doesn't go clean to the 7.
That's not a problem. Because that 8 ball's not going in a direction that's going to mess the shot up.
What's happened here with the 2? Well, there's the type of shot you've been talking about, Steve. What about a nudging the 2 onto the 11 and into the corner?
Yeah, that's that kind of shot where it's real thin like that. Those are really tough.
Well, LS3's taking the bait.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't shoot this, but this is a hard shot.
Oh, beautiful.
She hit it good.
Let's see a replay in that one. Oh, that worked.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. And I like the speed she hit it too. Didn't go crazy trying to slam it.
Oh, is this another combo?
Yeah.
No, well, nowhere near set.
You got to make sure you cut these enough. The tendency is, the ball throws quite a bit at this angle, so you got to overcut this shot.
She's got to cut it that way to make the cut. That's a better line now.
She might be able to go just straight into the 5. It's pretty close that way. Yeah, I think it'll go going straight head on into the 5. I'm not used to the throw on these VP balls. They're probably cleaner than I'm used to. Yeah, and she overcut it.
Nice call. Stubbs going to go for the smack here on the 15. Or is he going to? Oh, he's looking at the 5, but he's.
Boy, I'd be waiting here. I wouldn't be going for the smack on the 15 here. This is one of these patience things. I would wait.
Stubbs patience isn't in Stubbs' vocabulary though.
No, you're right. He's not. But I like the way he hit it under control. If you are going to play that shot, that's the way to do it.
You see where that cue ball was headed, another ounce of weight on that, and it was gone.
Yep.
So, well, this could be Stubbs' chance to get in the lead. He's still trailing by 9.
Is Sylvia still in the tournament?
She's playing Larry. When's she playing Larry? Is it Saturday night? I think it's Saturday night that she's playing Larry.
Yeah, Sylvia knows how to play straight pool. I mean, she doesn't always execute as well as some of the other people, but she understands straight pool.
Yeah, I saw enough of her last year but she tends to. I think she played. Did she play Larry last year in the tournament because she sort of lost the will to live well before halfway through the match and more or less capitulated with some of the shots she was playing. I think
Larry plays decent straight pool. I mean, I'm not sure how much he's played in real life, but Larry's a little more cerebral than some of the other players, and he thinks about stuff more. I mean, his straight pool game isn't bad. I mean, that should be a good match.
Well, you brought it forward, Larry, to Friday, well. Never looked at the bracket, have a quick look. Where is it? That's LS3. February the 11th. Right. So once again, the critical point in the rack, no break balls there, they're all dead in the pack, unless he can, he's not got a good angle in the 3, so he can't create a break ball.
And see, if he would have planned there, I mean, that's what you got to look at. He gets, a little bit higher, and he can shoot the 3, bump the 4, and have a shot on the 7.
Yeah.
But, he probably never even thought about that. Now he's like, gee, I wish the cue ball was over here.
Yeah, he's running away. He's just going to have to draw back, though, for this.
Well, I think, at this point, you just plan on the 1 ball being your break shot. I mean, that's what I'd be doing here. I'd be trying to play a pattern. I can get an angle on that one and draw back into the rack at an angle. I mean, the 1 ball really isn't a bad break ball. It's far enough away from the rail that, you can. Yeah, well.
He's going to be the 7 now, I think, but the thing is, this 7's only on the corner of the pack.
It's real easy. Yeah, your only chance there was you needed to hit that with a lot of English to kill it, and he didn't. But he's got an angle he can come back into the rack.
Which is dangerous, this.
Yeah, but he's
flat
playing it the right
back.
way. He's putting left English on it, which
does that. So Again, he was just too straight on it.
Well, no, he could have hit that. The thing is you need more draw, and then, you can't hit it too hard because the cue ball is going to go sideways before it grabs. And the harder you hit it, the further it's going to go sideways. So when you're trying to get the thing to come back real quick, you just can't hit it so hard. I mean, he could have easily brought that cue ball into the rack.
Yeah, well, why? Well, I mean, there might have been enough leeway to pinch a bit more of an angle on the actual pot as well. I don't know whether there was. Never looked at it closely enough, but
yeah, I don't know, but I know the speed he hit it was, that the cue ball is just going to go a lot sideways at that speed. Yeah, and that's what amazes me is, here's a guy that's supposed to be one of the better players, and he doesn't understand that.
and I mean, it's a very bad habit to get out of. The habit that Stubbs got, and it's ingrained in him since VP3, is that he can pop balls, and that's the habit he's got. He relies on rescuing situations by potting the next ball from some stupid position. But he sacrifices getting good control in the cue ball that LS3's just done there. He keeps doing it, and LS3's contribution there was only one.
That was a little bit of a brutal scratch there. That one was a little bit harder to predict. But I mean, he could have killed the one ball. All I had to do is put a lot of left English on that cue ball, and it would have killed, and he could have stayed below it and caught the corner ball, breaking the 7, cutting it back the other way. And he didn't do that either. She's given him enough chances that he may end up winning this match, much to the chagrin of the crowd.
Well, she's not lost anything yet. I mean, she's lost the lead. But as long as she doesn't lose the head, that's the most important thing. Now, does that 5 ball go?
This is 3 ball is sitting perfect. Come out right into that pocket between a 5 and a 14 with a little bit of speed, and you're going to have a shot on the 13 for sure. You just can't hit this real easy, but you don't want to blast it either. It's kind of a medium pace. The pace was okay, but he didn't get into the pocket between the 5 and the whatever the other one I said. He didn't put it in the pocket.
As long as you've got a bailout ball, doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was no guarantee he was gonna.
He's going to try and. I think he was tempted to try and get into them again off the 2 ball there.
Yeah, I think the 12 ball goes. I mean, that would be the shot that I'd be playing for, is to shoot the 12. I'd shoot the 10 and the 12.
Yeah. I think he's on it.
If he has to, he can use the 13 or the 2 as a break ball. I don't like the 2 at all. That's how you get stuck in the rack. So the 13 is higher than optimal. Okay, well, now he's got a 2 ball he can use, so. At this point, the way you ought to be thinking is you ought to have this pattern in your mind. 9 ball, 13 ball, 5 ball, 14 ball, 2 ball.
Yeah, but look where he's finished though.
Yeah, he wanted to be lower, so because he really wanted to shoot the 14 in the side, because that's the pocket where you can have a little rollout and still be assured of getting on the 2 well. Instead, he's way high, and now he's getting rid of the break ball that he really wanted to have. The good news is the 5 ball is actually not a bad break ball. See if he realizes that. It's a little tricky here. He's getting on the 13 rung, and it's going to get real tough.
No guarantee in this one. And he needs to miss the pack.
Yep,
what am I talking about? I'm thinking it was the last ball. I'm getting excited.
Yeah. he just needs to leave an angle on this 5 ball, and he should be good. Yep, that's perfect.
5 balls.
So this ball you want to hit with right draw, because you've got to get the cue ball coming back into the rack at an angle. If you come back too straight, then there's a good chance it'll stick.
Well, it's a millimetre off the rail. He's got to get this nice and crisp.
He's not put enough draw on it. He needs to put more draw on this. Yeah, he's lucky he came up with something. I mean, he just needed to put a little bit more draw on that. I mean, that was the minimum angle you'd want to come back in.
And he's got plenty to choose from here. He's now 10 in front. The run goes to 12.
You know, Hugh, this isn't rocket science. You come into the side of the rack at a direct angle, you know, perpendicular to that side, and there's a good chance you're going to get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with luck or anything else. So when you come into the rack, you always want to be doing it at an angle if you can. Now, if you're coming in straight, like, you know, you have one of those break shots that's kind of that thin cut back, then you either need to draw it off the rack or do a lot of topspin and force it through the rack.
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking to the guys about in the stream the other night. That's why I wanted to see, at least, you know, a little section, you know, a good enough section of Jason Shaw to see how he was going about things. And so, you know, so that the guys could watch how he was going about things as well. Because you don't get to 714 by being lucky.
No, although I wouldn't say that Jason Shaw is the prototypical straight pull player. You know, he does not play.
He's a jack of all trades.
He doesn't really play traditional classic straight pull, but you know, I mean, obviously, he does everything well, and he understands how to not make a lot of dumb mistakes, but you know, he relies on shot making a lot. I mean, he's such a great shot maker.
Yeah.
If you want to see somebody that really can play straight pull, John Schmidt's a good one. Mike Siegel, Steve Miserak. Yeah, Siegel's probably the best straight pull player I've ever seen.
Yeah, Siegel's old video is still on YouTube. Just type that in and you can watch Siegel's tips on straight pull. That'll open your eyes, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he's got a 150 and out on YouTube. But, you know, just because you don't fit the prototypical doesn't mean you can't play. I mean, Lou Butera, who was a good friend of mine, he holds the record for fastest run, 150 and out in a tournament in 20 minutes, which is pretty incredible when you consider you have to wait for the referee to rack, too.
Yeah, and consider they had to take a couple of bathroom breaks in between.
No, not in 20 minutes. But, you know, I mean, people said he didn't play right. He hit the cue ball too hard, and, you know, he played too fast, and, you know. But he won the world championship, so, I mean, he must have been doing something right. I don't know if Shaw's won the world championship yet. I don't recall him winning. Maybe Airpig knows. Or at least he can Google it. I don't recall Shaw ever winning the world championship. I think Appleton did.
Yeah, Appleton won it. Danced in the table.
Appleton is, he's a really talented player. I mean, he had some down years, but he's been playing pretty good lately. He's an impressive player.
He's got some good practice videos or training videos on, you know, where he's showing you, you know, ball sets of balls and showing you how to go about running them out.
There's a few good ones from the UK, with Shaw being the best, but Appleton, real good player, and then Chris Melling is a really good player. He's probably, I would pick him as maybe the most underrated player in the world. I mean, Chris Melling is one hell of a player. He just He's not in the public eye that much, but I've seen him play quite a bit, and he's super strong.
Well, he's got a sledgehammer break. Good evening to Michael Heisman.
My pocket slim, Captain Hook, yeah, that's what they called him. And Machine Gun, yeah, that's what they call him.
Machine Gun Lou Butera. Now, a little nudge and hope you get lucky here. You don't need to slam anything.
Nudging this, you're not going to get lucky. I mean,
well,
I'm not sure what his plan is here, but he's not going to come up with a break shot unless he gets really lucky here. I mean, he can shoot the 2 and try to get into the 12, but he's going to need things to go really well to come up with something.
That's a good shot, but he's now going to have to do the 2 rail again.
Now, if it was Efren, he would have hit the 12 ball and come up with a shot probably, but, you know, that's Efren.
Well, Stubbs now in the position where he's in charge as far as having a lead's concerned, and now LS3 has to be careful. As and when she gets a shot, she can't. Well, you know, she can't go just frittering away points.
Safety and just hit this easy. This is that same sort of situation. Call safety, put it over there by the second time in a long rail, and make her, you know, try to play safe. He's putting English and doing all this stuff. All he needs to do is roll this ball.
Yeah, just
a slight bit of right English. I mean, the important part is making it, and the second most important part is the speed. You know, if you want to try to get it right on that long rail, you're going to have to put a little bit of right English on it. He's like going down. It's just watching him is just, you know.
I think Stubbs just desperate to try and get a higher run than he got in his first match. I think that's his first target.
Well, the way he's playing, it's not going to happen.
He's going to be stone cold frozen.
Yeah. The problem with this is that you're going to end up table. I mean, that's, you know, that's why you want to leave her up table. You don't want to, you know.
No.
And she didn't go up table with it, which I think is a mistake. I think unless she had no play off that 9 ball because she was going to scratch, I think she should have gone up table, and he didn't either.
No, that's LS3 playing now, Steve.
Oh, LS3 didn't either. Okay.
Well, this is a chance, but just got to be careful because that 9. Yep, that's what
you want
touch.
To do.
That's the touch you need, just a feather edge. You're just still like 6-7 inches short of the short rail though.
Well, she took a chance that she'd get away with it.
Yeah, lost a point, but no damage done.
Yeah, well, you know, this isn't a bad way to lose a point because it's hard to go up tables. So, I mean, if you're going to lose a point and put yourself into that, like I've got a foul first, then this is the way to do it. Because if he could go up table here now, she'd be screwed. But, you know, she can get out of this now. I mean, she can just bump this 14 ball over to the rail. There's nothing else there.
Well,
leave the cue ball sit right there between the 7, 8, and 11. And
yeah. Little dink. That'll do it.
Just like that.
And Stubb will take the 13 if he can see any of it. I don't think he can get enough.
13 unless he's going to bank it.
I don't think he can't get to the potting angle on it.
I mean, he can bank it.
Well, he can do the same though. He can just punch that 7 away and kill the cue ball there. I don't think he'll leave anything.
Yeah, this is a lot. Like, you know, this kind of stuff comes up in one pocket a lot. And this is, you know, this will devolve pretty fast. Well, he took a foul, so that's an interesting play. he left a shot on the 7, so he took a foul and still left a shot, and he's going to pay the price there. I don't know what she's looking at. The 7 ball is a wide open shot. Am I the only one in the world that sees a 7 ball?
Yeah. It's wide open as far as it'll pot, but it's extremely awkward over that 11 ball.
So it's a lot more awkward in real life, and I'd be shooting in real life.
Yeah, but you're 6'7", Steve. You've got no problem reaching over. You've got no problem reaching over the 11 ball.
Alex Pagulayan shoots that in real life.
Alex Pagulayan,
he's 5'3" just because of his
hair. Yeah, he'd need a step ladder to actually see the cue ball.
Well, she's spinning it. I wouldn't be spinning it that much.
Has that got the legs? It's got the legs. Good evening to Sharky 9.
All right, well, here we go. This should hit the high side of the 3, so she should be able to control this.
How's that doing that? Why is that saying Restream bot Hugh along with VP4 developer Steve Chapman? Is that somebody? Oh, that's Slim that's typing it. I'm thinking, how's the bot doing that? It's Slim that's typing it. Oh,
she hit it pretty hard.
I think she might be able to see the 10.
Yeah,
she can see the 3 as well.
I think she needed to hit it about that speed because they weren't going to separate that good in that situation. I think that was a good play. There's always some chance in that. Oh, she could see the 3 ball, so that's even better.
Well, this is, this is an important visit because she's 21 behind, and there are balls there to pick out, but you got to find your way to them.
Yeah, I think she can shoot the 8, she can shoot the 14, and bump the 9 to the rail.
Good evening to Keith. And
she's going to bump the 9 and shoot the 5, I think. That's what I'd be looking at. Yeah, see, I don't understand that. All you had to do was roll that. It hits the 9, and you're sitting right there for the 5. I don't know why she stunned it like that.
You know, if it's a 4 ball up the table.
Hi, Michael Heisman. Is that how you pronounce it? Heisman?
It's just going to be the 10 ball next. I don't believe.
Yeah. See, one thing I've noticed is that VPers tend to shoot a lot more balls up table than you will in real life. I mean, good straight pull players in real life don't shoot a whole lot of balls up table.
Yeah, it's
easy to roll balls and go up table. Uh-oh, watch out.
Side pocket and the 2 side pockets and the bottom corner pockets are predominantly where the balls are all going to go.
Yeah, I have a buddy that saw Mosconi give an exhibition and run a 150, and he said he shot 1 ball up table in 150 balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
oh dear.
She's not playing good patterns. I mean, the way she's going through the rack and bumping balls just isn't right. It's just awkward. I mean, I think she could be a really good straight pull player. She's just gonna have to play a lot more straight pull.
That's exactly it. That's what everybody has to do to get better. I mean, the problem is that all of these guys only play straight pull in this tournament. You never see them playing straight pull in any regular basis at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game, and I don't play much straight pull, but I practice it. I'll get on the table and practice straight pull, and that it's just a wonderful game to practice. I mean, that's a good thing to do. I mean, you can do that, well, offline or online, I guess. Is just go in a room and play straight pull by yourself.
Now, that's nowhere near a combo.
Now, you know who does that a lot is semi-pro. He's been in the room playing straight pull by himself a lot. And
yeah, that's because everybody's avoiding them, myself included. I know my limitations.
But, you know, if you're going to practice something, you know, 9-ball really isn't a very good game to practice. I mean, if you just want to practice something and get better at pool, straight pool is a wonderful way to do it.
Well, he's calling the combo. I don't know where the 13's going to finish.
Yeah, boy.
But
I'd probably bank the 6-ball here rather than call a combo.
No, he did call. He did. That's what I missed out. I'm looking at. I thought he was calling it into the corner.
Yeah. He came up with a break shot, not a very good one. He needs to not hit the one straight on. He needed to just get a piece so he could bounce off of it. I would have tried to hit the outside of the one so the cue ball would separate and bounce the long rail. He went straight into it, and that's the problem with doing that is now you got to get lucky. He just didn't have enough angle to hit him hard enough to go straight into it and come up with a shot. You know, it's all just knowledge. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I'm any kind of great straight pull player.
That's a poor shot. That's the worst shot of the night right there. Let's see that one again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Obviously, it wasn't where he ended up.
I've missed it. I was too slow. But yeah, that was really, really poor. Although he's not going to suffer a lot of damage unless LS3 can.
Well, he should suffer a lot of damage here. I mean,
yeah,
she
going
just got wrong
too straight.
on the 6-ball. Maybe she couldn't hold it. I didn't see the angle, you know, but
this might be better. I think she's maybe going it. No, going to have to be brave here.
No, she's fine here. I mean, this is the one you want to put a lot of topspin on.
Yeah, that's the problem. The angle maybe was just a bit too much, skimmed off the pack into the side.
I thought she was in a spot she could go forward and get into the rack. See, that's the great thing about practicing by yourself offline is that, you know, you shoot that shot and then you undo it and you shoot it again and undo it and you mess around and try to figure out how do I get into that rack and make something happen.
Do you remember?
I mean, the offline is really the best way to practice because you can do undo, you can do replay, you can really see everything.
Do you remember Sharky 9, Steve?
That name sounds familiar. He's an old VPer, isn't he?
Oh, he certainly is. Yeah. He just came out of the blue into the stream the other night. He hadn't been in VP4 for more than 2 years, if not longer. It might be 4 years. And he's back in tonight again. Yeah, he won a virtual world championship, if I remember rightly. That'll be on Wikipedia.
Well, semi-pro is saying break ball and K1 and K2 balls get into break ball. I would actually not 100% agree with that. And I'm basing that on John Schmidt and watching him play. And actually, I was actually watching him give a lesson on how to play straight pool. And he starts looking at the pattern he wants to play with 4 or 5 balls left to get on the break ball.
And somebody was asking you there because I don't see the name now on my screen.
The new physics and the new physics are an offline version.
Yeah, I thought he'd updated it.
Yeah, it was updated. They're in there, so if you've got the offline version and you start it up, it's going to say there's an update available.
Good evening to Bedhead.
Sounds like Bedhead's going to go practice. He could be dangerous.
So, what Stubbs lead? 28, is it? Or is it 18? I can't count. My head's going at this time of night. Well, It doesn't want to get much more if you're LS3, put it that way. I don't know what the hell he tried there.
Yeah.
That's a missed call.
24.
Or did he call that ball into the side? He must have called it into the side, because LS3 is saying good shot. I missed that as well, looking at the chat. Got to pay attention. That was a good shot then. It must have been dead set then.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I've seen in this match is neither one of these players really has a very good grasp on straight pull, and it's just a matter of Stubb executing a little better. That's why he's ahead.
Right, now, what's Keith saying about... Oh, is this... you still get this graphics carry-on, Keith?
I don't remember that. I remember he was having some sort of issue that was unique to Keith.
Is it still stuttering? Is that what it was doing?
Yeah, he had some screwy problem.
Well, the problem with it, Keith's asking about any updates. I think the problem is nobody knows what the hell's causing the problem in the first place, which is weird.
There was an update. Well, if it's actually really crashing, you can send me the crash log. If it's actually doing a crash, there'll be a Windows event log. You can send that to me.
Yeah, but I think, am I right in saying you can't restart VP4 before you copy the crash log? You've got to copy the crash log before you restart the game, or else you'll lose it.
Sir Goresh is asking about undo and think, no, we're not going to do that online. I mean, that's what offline's for. Made the decision to split them up a long time ago because, well, the initial impetus to do that was people saying things like, oh, people are using tracking online and things like that, whether or not they were. So there's no tracking, no nothing like that at all online. And the model of how we update those and work with them has changed too. So that's not going to happen. I mean, the offline version really is great because you can set up practice drills. I don't know if you realize it's you, but I put stuff in like where you can turn on the game engine. Like, let's say you want to do a snooker practice drill where you shoot a color and a red and a color and a red. You can turn on the game engine so that it'll spot the colors from a practice drill that you load.
No, I've never looked at any practice drills.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. That you can do stuff like that. It's got a lot of stuff in there to practice.
I think the only thing I did do, just out of curiosity, was went through all the tutorials with Steve Daking. That's the only thing I completed.
Yeah, those are good. I mean, I think. Well, I'd say that most of the better players couldn't learn everything, but the more I watch the better players play, the more I'm thinking maybe they could learn something from those.
You're right enough, Bedhead. I mean, that's all most players are going to end up doing anyway. Is just what I keep calling bits and pieces. These bits and pieces that Stubbs getting is taking him farther and farther away from LS3. I mean, she's stone dead in 92 and hasn't moved for, 25 minutes now, I think. So she's locked out at the moment.
Well, Stubbs starting to play a little better, and she had lots of chances early on, and she didn't take advantage of them. And I think, Stubbs getting a little more comfortable with the lead. I mean, he was probably feeling pretty nervous when he was behind. Now he's starting to feel comfortable and going to play better. And, it's the ship may have sailed on her winning this match.
Mm.
I mean, I think when she gets a chance, she's going to have to do something. The
This
question is, is she capable of that?
This is going to do something.
Yeah, this one I'd probably go forward on. He didn't, but he came out good. He's got a chance to break up this little cluster here. The 8-ball, give him a shot for sure. Well, not when you hit it crazy like that. So that was a ball you wanted to hit hard, but you didn't want to draw it that much.
Now that I've got you here, Steve, I'm going to ask you a question. And tell me when you fail to understand what I'm talking about. You see the view that we have from this camera setting that I've got on my game?
Yeah.
Right, well, while Stubbs doing that, let's just go to the settings and cameras, and this will show everybody what my settings are. I've got last distance, I've got it set to 30 for streaming. I've got action camera do nothing, camera speed 100, do nothing. My English is set to pivot, and I've got down and above table, which is like the TV camera view, right? So as long as we know we're all on that, right. So what I want to ask you is, and this is the thing that most annoys me in VP, well, apart from a lot of other things, but this is one thing that annoys me. In this room, hard times, it's perfect because if you're on the default view and you hit Control U to go to the default view, so if I zoom out, I zoom in and I do Control U, I'm back to my TV view. Now, if I go around and, in fact, yeah, if I go up like that, then we've got the lampshade impeding the view of the table, right? If, however, you go into, and it's not just the garage, but the garage is the most annoying. You can go to the TV view with the camera, but the garage lamp and everything encroaches on the top of the table, and you can actually see the diamonds through the shade. Now, is there any way, and here's my question, I'm getting to the point, Steve, just bear with me. Can you change the default camera view in individual rooms, or is that far too much work? Because what I'm getting at is the camera view in the garage needs to be down like there as a default, or something like that, where you're not seeing the lampshade. So if I hit Control U, it would always go back down to the lower angle like that, and that way you get rid of the lampshade. It might do it in the hog pen as well, by the way. I don't know.
Well, you can set a user-defined view.
Yeah, I've got that. But when you say the user-defined view, can you explain what you're talking about there so that the other guys understand?
I mean, there's a way you can set any view you want.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if I do this, right, when I'm, whether I'm streaming or just watching a game, I'm always in the habit of wandering around the table watching and looking at a shot, but then I'll hit Control U to go back there. Now, the user-defined view, if you're talking about the Y button, I've got that set to do this, right, from the opposite end of the table. And then it's a high-up view to look at the table from the opposite end. And then I hit the right button on the mouse to get the HUD back. Now,
you probably need multiple user-defined views. I mean, your needs are a little bit different than everybody else's because you're streaming.
Yeah, but I thought that if it was possible to just change the default view in that TV view to a lower angle, you get rid of the lampshades because it's really annoying.
That's
something you can work on.
That's a rabbit hole because as soon as you change your field of view, everything changes too. So I would say that user view is your best option. I mean, you've got a pretty low field of view in here right now. I'm assuming that's what works the best for the stream.
Yeah, this TV view like this from this end is fine. As I say, it's fine because you don't have anything to impede the top rail and block out the top rail. But there's 2 rooms at least in this game that it does that. And
yeah, I don't know. I'll look at them and see. I don't know if there's anything to be done. Like I said, just changing the field of view is probably going to change that. This match is taking forever. I mean,
well, it started at 8 o'clock, so It's not any longer or shorter than anything that's gone so far, and we're still 50 odd points away from the finishing line. So
yeah, well, obviously it was a mistake to change the pocket size smaller.
yes, I'm glad you agree with me, Steve.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad we're having a straight pool world championship and everybody's getting a chance to play. I will say that, with a little smaller pocket size, what ends up happening is these things about how you play straight pool, the patterns you play, and the decisions you make. Not doing things the right way end up hurting you a lot more with pockets this size. Because
Well, I would agree with you there, Steve, because last year, no matter how big the pockets were last year, there was still that whole chunk of players in the tournament who were doing exactly the wrong thing every time, and they were still struggling to put any runs together. So that didn't change. But the only thing it has affected is the size of the high run is going to be a lot smaller than what it was last year. That's only the main thing I would agree with you, because there's everybody else is still making the same mistakes, going about it the wrong way, and running into balls. They're still committing the same mistakes. That's not changed.
They don't have the, they don't, you don't have as much bailout with the smaller pockets, but
yeah,
if you play the right way, at Derby, I don't think they're doing it anymore, but for a long time they had a straight pool challenge, and those tables probably played about like these, maybe a little tougher. I'd say they probably played a little tougher than these. And the record high run was 225 by Lee Van Corteza.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not that you can't make high runs. And to get what they did is you bought, what was it, 12 tries for $100. And that $100 went into the pot. And the top 8 high runs got into a straight pool tournament. And to get in that straight pool tournament was going to take a triple-digit run. So, good players on these pockets can get better runs. I think, the problem is we just don't have too many players of that caliber in virtual pool.
Well,
relative to real life.
That replay there was Stubbs' highest run for the tournament. That ball takes him to 33.
I can guarantee a semi-pro could run in triple digits on these pockets. And I wouldn't say he's, a great straight pool player, but, he's played it enough that he's got a clue of what to do.
Well, he's going to have the opportunity to prove that next year.
Bedhead wants to know if we ever stream any garage matches. Well, we could. We do a bar table tournament. I mean, we're about due for a bar table tournament. I've got some hope that I can get people to play in it because.
Well, do the 8-ball one again, Steve. That was good. I enjoyed that.
8-ball bar table is a great game. I mean, I think it's a better game than on a big table.
Yeah, I just think
a lot more strategy.
I just think we should have a black ball tournament, big tournament, because we haven't had one.
I'd love to if we get enough players. I'd love to have a black ball tournament. I think that would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, you'll get people in it. Hang on a minute, guys. There's something going on with this restream. We'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, see if he's going to leave the 7-ball as the break ball. It's not a very good break ball, but it'll work.
This thing stopped scrolling up in my chat.
It's close. Wow, he just missed the ball.
Now, was that the last comment in the chat there? Michael Heisman says, do these tournaments contribute to a world ranking for the community?
They sure do.
For all the players that are in it, yes. Yeah.
All tournaments contribute. Now, the World Championships contribute more. You get a lot more points. There's a, there's points given out for the World Championship, and it's more in a normal tournament. Plus, there's a bonus for the winner, and that's bigger also.
Plus, there's still the bonus for the high runs in the tournament as well.
Well, I'm not talking about a money bonus. I'm talking about a points bonus for the
rating. The ranking
no,
points.
No, not the rating, the ranking list. I think there's actually also a bump. Well, let me tell you. Now that you've asked.
What was Stubbs' high run there, by the way? I've missed the end of it. He was in 33, I know that, and then obviously he's missed.
Yeah, I think you commentator cursed him on that because you said that and he missed. Okay, let's see. What are we doing here? Do we actually publish this? God, we don't. That's kind of a shame. Maybe I should be putting that information on the sheet. All right, I'll look this up and tell you what it is, because maybe you guys didn't realize there's bonuses.
Well, you're doing the right thing, Michael. The only way you're ever going to find out anything is by asking. Simple as that.
Well, I mean, it was a good question, and makes me realize that maybe we should have that information on the tournament page. I would have thought we would have. Oh, yeah, it is on the tournament page. It's right under the purse.
Dwight says it was 38. Right, hang on a minute.
Okay, so the points for this is 3,000.
Right, points 3,000, okay. Bonus rating 100.
Now that 3,000 points is split up depending on where you finish. The bonus to rating is plus 100. That means the winner has their rating bumped 100 points. By 100. So the points are for the ranking. The plus 100 to the rating, that's for your actual rating, what you see up there in the upper left for the player when it says rating. That plus 100 only goes to the winner, and that is right on their rating. The points get distributed, and those points are what changes the rankings list you see on, you see it when you do a /SB in the lobby or just log on. Right now, Chimpy's #1. And you also see it on the website on the home page. And that shows a few more, but you can see the full one. If you go to stats, you can see a full ranking list, and you can see it overall or for a specific game.
There's the leaderboard. You get Champion 3,100, Slim LS3, chase one around, and then it shows you a random one like Cowboy rankings.
Yeah, now one thing you got to realize about this leaderboard is that's a window. I think it's a window for the last 3 months. So, anything longer than 3 months rolls out. And we did it that way because, we didn't want somebody coming in that was new not to be able to get to the top of the leaderboard because somebody else had been here 10 years. So it's basically the last 3 months is what's added up. And all this information is actually in the VP4 facts. There's a ranking stats. Let's see what it says.
Well, Stubbs 39 away, and LS3 is way back in the distance now.
Yeah, the fact says 90 days on that window. Well, LS3 is going to really have to do something here. I'm not sure she's capable of popping off a really big run, but she plays smart, runs 15 or 20, plays safe. She might be able to get back in this. Let's see, is that 2-ball dead? No, it is not. I think that 2-ball may throw in, but you'd have to hit it real soft. Yeah. This seems to be a popular thing to do, is take these wild swings at it and miss the rack.
Yeah,
Stubbs done it a bunch of times, and LS3's done it a bunch of times.
That two's going to the jaw. But
So
then,
on other news, I guess Sarah P. finally came out of the closet and admitted she's a guy.
well, I think, well, I tell you something, Steve. I got did I get was it a friend request? Or was it in VP4? I can't remember. Anyway, she said she was 13 years old, and I said, well, I'm steering well clear of that. I'm not adding any 13-year-old girl to my bloody friend.
Yeah, no, she
And
was posing as it's a guy, and he changed his name, and it's well, let me tell you what his name is, so everybody knows.
yeah, the name got changed the other day there because I looked at the text that they've got in her profile, and she's still got the same information about Sarah in the profile, by the way, in the text that you put up, you know, the little info text at the top of your profile, where you can type something in. It still says something about I'm Sarah and 13 years old, even though she changed her name, or he changed her name.
The name is now Michael 2001.
Yeah. And old, there's somebody in my friends list who's changed their name to old somebody or other. I can't remember because they're still green in my.
Buzzard. Yeah,
Yes.
that was. I can tell you who that is.
Was that Sharky? Or Shark?
Yeah, that was Shark 4488.
Yeah. Why do people change their bloody names? I mean, I've had the same name in VPs for 20 odd years.
You know, we don't automatically just let people change names. Obviously, you have to ask for a reset, and we tell people no. Well, when Shark 4488 asked for I told him, I asked him why. Because, you know, I mean, it's not an automatic thing, and there's a reason why, because, you know, people have abused it in the past. So, but he had a really good reason. He said, well, he goes, I'm old, and he goes, I just got a tattoo that said old buzzard. So, I mean, it was hard to not say yes with that. I mean, he's got a tattoo that says that. So,
well, I just hope
how to be able to have that as a player name.
I just hope that his tattoo, old buzzard, isn't on his pecker.
No, I actually saw a picture of it. It was on his arm. But thanks for that visual.
Well, I just thought it was I thought it was quite clever because he called himself Old Buzzard and he's not got it in his pecker. Do you know what I mean? You know, the buzzard's got a pecker, if you know what I mean, a beak. That's the joke. And when I have to start explaining jokes, I know there's a problem. It's nothing to do with being transatlantic.
No. Well. He says, I've heard her in Discord voice. She's a girl. No, he was using a voice changer. So what you thought was a girl was not, because he was using a voice changer in Discord.
Oh, that hog been fooled. And he thought it was a sow, but it's a big porker.
You just can't trust anybody anymore. I remember there was an article in the local rag sheet where I used to live, and this guy had gotten a wreck coming down Interstate 5, and what happened is he picked up this hitchhiker, this woman, and they're driving down the highway, and he puts his hand on her knee, and she didn't say anything, so he moves it up a little, and she didn't say anything, so he sticks his hand out there, and what does he find when he gets up there? A penis. So they got in this huge fight, and he wrecked the car, and anyhow, the kind of stuff's been going on for a while.
Oh dear.
But you know, you gotta realize this one I was living in Los Angeles, so it's a little different kind of place.
Anything goes over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that there.
Well, LS3 in the last hour, has got to be the last hour, has scored 7 points, and that's killed her. She's out of the game.
Yeah, well, Stubb stopped missing easy balls, and you know, as soon as he did that, then things really changed. Stubb's going to get done with this and think that he's good, and I'm watching this thinking he has no clue how to play straight pool. You know, for what I'm seeing here, I don't think he can beat Larry. I don't think he can beat Semi-Pro. I don't think he can beat Bedhead. I mean, I don't think he can beat Albin. And I think there's a bunch of guys that he is a big underdog.
Oh yeah, with. Yeah. He's going to get his ass handed to him, as they say, in no uncertain terms, because he can't be making the errors and mistakes and giving opportunities to those guys, because they know what to do with those opportunities.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, everybody's going to miss a ball here or there or something, but, when you don't play the right way, you basically limit what you can do.
But anyway, as long as you get the job done and survive.
I think he's going to get it done in this match. But, I mean, he was a favorite coming into this. I mean, I think everybody wanted LS3 to win, but...
I wanted to see her putting up doing things the right way and keeping it tight. But,
well, I mean, is she the best woman on here?
I would think, looking at LS3 and Sylvia's far more experienced, I think.
Sylvia's played a lot of pool in real life, and I think she has a better knowledge base. But Sylvia struggles with execution on VP.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we need more women on there. I don't know what to do to get them, but I'd like to see a lot more women.
Well, that was my argument the other night, Steve, about talking about. I don't know how we got onto the subject, but we were talking about women snooker players over here. I mean, and we talk about how there's differences in sport in general to cater for the women. Like they don't run as far in the 100 meters, 100 meters hurdles, etc., etc. But there are sports where they're on an even keel with guys. And what puzzles me is why there aren't great women snooker players. And I'm talking about competitive women snooker players who have gone through the qualifying school and are on the 128 professionals that are in the world snooker at the moment. And there's no excuse. The table's 12 foot. They'll use the rest same as a shorter guy would use the rest. Why aren't they as good?
I'm not going to say a lot because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But there's other differences besides just strength between men and women. You also got to realize not that many women, try to play snooker. There's a lot more men that try, which just the numbers makes a difference. But the only place that I personally have seen women be as good as men in any kind of sporty thing is drag racing. There's a number of women that are top in the world. There's one in pro stock. What the heck's her name? There's a couple in top fuel funny cars. Leah Pruitt. I think she holds a record right now for fastest run. But we're talking about women that have won world championships in drag racing. So I mean that's the one place I've seen it. Pool and snooker, no. I mean, I probably play as good as the best women. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to gamble with any of those women. The best woman I've ever seen was Karen Corr. She actually came in, I think, 8th in one of the U.S. 10-ball opens. I mean, she can play.
Well, Stubb is, what is he, 30 away? And LS3 still not got to 3 figures. I mean, this must feel like an eternity. It's certainly beginning to feel like an eternity to me. That's 2 hours and 25 minutes. 5, I don't think, goes at the back of the... No, it doesn't.
That's her name, Erica Enders.
I've never heard of that one.
Drag racing, everybody in the UK goes, huh?
Never heard of her.
Yeah, you don't do drag racing in the UK. Now, they do it a lot in Australia. It's big in Australia.
That's basically attaching a jet rocket to your back end of your car and like 8 Gs while you leave the start line, isn't it?
No, it's only 5 Gs.
5 Gs.
They're piston-driven motors. Yeah. They're not rocket ships. But yeah, I mean, if you come to the U.S. and you get a chance to go see drag racing, go see the nitro cars, it's something else. It's an eye opener.
Seven into the side. Safety, I think. Presume I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was trying to just get in behind the pack because he's obviously got nothing else.
I think he was shooting it, but I'm not sure why. Yeah. I'm not sure what she's going to get after making the 7 ball. Maybe she can run into the 5.
Yep. As long as you're keeping count, Albie, but I know that, she was in 92 for a long while, and she's still in 99. She's been locked out.
Brain fell out likes drag racing. Good for you. You ever been to a nitro race? Brain fell out?
Well, where's the cue ball going? I think he's okay. I think Brain fell out's idea of drag racing is probably tying a rope to the back of a car and getting dragged along the ground.
Oh, I thought you were going to say women in drag.
It could be that as well.
I know how you think, you.
Putting on a dress and getting into a jet car. Old buzzard.
Oh,
well, here we go.
Shoot at this 8 ball. This is going to be exciting.
This is all or nothing. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm afraid
it's looking like nothing.
Yeah. Gertrude. Where do you get that idea, Slim? Semi. The only reason I called you Slim is because your first name starts with an S as well.
Jean Belucas. Yeah, she was a player. Now, I did not see her play, but the guys that I knew that were older said she could really play, that she was, she was a really good player. I'm guessing she was probably like a Karen Cord type player, from what I've read and seen. Core, I've watched Core play quite a bit. I think she's by far the best woman I've ever seen.
I was reading on that Pro 9, what's his name that runs that Pro 9 website?
That's Dave.
Dave. And that's Dave Knight.
Yeah.
I was reading on his website. I think it was a link or something. I can't remember how. Again, I found it. I was looking at the. I think it took me to Matchroom Sports and the UK Open 9-ball Championship. That was the one where they actually, I think they advertised it. I think the woman chairman or whoever she was of the tournament or the event, I saw it on TV, but I can't remember what event it was at. But anyway, they opened up the sign-ups for the UK Open Championships, and it was sold out in an hour. 256 players plus they've got a list of reserve players as well, and they're bound to have need reserves because of COVID and stuff.
You know what that tells me, Hugh? They're not charging enough for that.
Yeah. Sold out in an hour. And the disappointing thing is, I think I read there was only 7 players from the States, so that tells you the payout isn't big enough for them. Only 7 guys from the States bothered to enter it.
Yeah, it's, the UK pool, they've got the GB9 and all that, and, there's some fun tournaments, but you don't get a lot of real strong players. you know, you'll get an Appleton or a Shaw or Raj plays in it or Ehrman. You know, there's a few guys that'll play in it that are there sometimes and not on a consistent basis.
And then there's the US Open 9-ball and the World Championships to come.
Speaking of women, you know, most of the tournaments that I play in allow women in them, and they pay highest finishing woman gets, you know, something. They have a payout for highest finishing woman. That's how they get the women to play in them.
Well, your odds are pretty good if you're one of the 3 women that signed up to the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the tournaments are like that. They might be 3, but I've seen tournaments with, you know, 8 or 9 women in it too. But most of those are handicap tournaments. Wait till you try to play some woman a 9-ball where you got to go to 13 and she's got to go to 2. Let me tell you, that's not a good deal.
Well, I think all the balls are there that Stubb needs in this rack to get to the finishing line.
I'm going to bet he doesn't get there to this rack. Not because I know anything, just because I want to bet against Stubb.
He's trying to get on that one. He could have done with studying a bit more to go lower and squarer if he could, and they could have get into the bunch.
Talking about the boys, you know, in this country they tell you you're racist if you called something that title. Well, I told you he wasn't going to get there. I knew. It wasn't commentator's curse. I just knew it. And
Larry's better at counting balls than I am because he says that Stubb would have been one short anyway. He would have needed another rack.
A rack's basically 14 balls.
There just looked like enough balls. I never bothered counting them. Well, the good news is LS3's finally got to 3 figures. But it is a long way home from there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's put up a good fight. I mean, I think she just needs to work on a straight pool game. I mean, she certainly plays good enough that if she learned how to play straight pool, she'd be the favorite against Stubb because he's never going to get any better.
Well, never a truer statement said, Larry. She can get the tourney high run from here, most certainly. Nothing to stop her. The odds are fairly slim, but you know the way straight pool. Well, commentators curse, Larry. That was your fault. You got me talking.
Well, she wasn't going to run that many balls. I mean, she doesn't understand how to play straight pool good enough to run that many balls, even on looser pockets. It wasn't going to happen.
Now that 15 ball looks, that's encroaching in the pack again. So
yeah,
5 ball, 10 ball if it comes to it.
Somebody was asking me the other day why that line's outside the balls, and the reason why is because it's room for the rack.
Yeah, it's to get the rack in. Yeah.
Well, that was a good shot.
And if he gets nice on this 5 ball, he can get good on the 10.
I would have played the 12 last. I just think it's you get funny on this 5 and you're screwed. He's okay where he is.
He doesn't want to be pinching too much in this because he's going to have to put a wee bit of pace in this. Yeah, that's the problem.
That's all I had to do. This is fine here. Now this one I probably hit with top. Just go through them. Yeah, see that?
Well, he's got
I wouldn't hit him that easy either.
The escape route. 5 away.
He's fine.
2 hours and 35 minutes so far.
Well, one nice thing is Stubb's been unmuted for quite a while and he hasn't said anything. Probably just because he's ahead.
Yeah, I think he's probably thinking a bit more, and his mind's more on what he's meant to be doing rather than, just the usual distracting himself with typing crap.
Yeah, well, if he was, we're going to use an Americanism here. If he was behind, he'd be crying like a stuck pig.
Mm-hmm. So, one up the table for the match. We'll have a quick look at the bracket in a second or two just to see where he goes.
Well, One Pocket Slim says LS3 plays better than this. Yeah, I've seen her play better than this too.
Well, he used the pocket, so Stubb goes through by 200 points to 103. Quick look. If we can get there. I don't think I'm actually on the bracket either. Right, because I don't know who he's lined up to play next, but I don't think he'll be quite as straightforward from that's what I'm willing to bet. Because Bedhead is to play Popman next, and Bedhead will be the favourite, and then Stubb says goodbye to the winner's side and disappears to the one-loss side.
It's probably going to be Bedhead against Stubb, and Stubb's going to lose. But never know. I don't know if I've seen Popman play straight pull, so I'm not sure what kind of straight pull he plays.
Well, he's probably a similar level to LS3, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's not going to beat Bedhead unless Bedhead rolls over or something.
The next match is, in fact, there's two matches on Friday. Larry's got the dates right and I've got the dates right. That's another thing I want to rant at you about, Steve. See this bracket, and I've asked you this before. See the zoom on it. If you look at it, the zoom goes like 2 levels. The problem I've got is, even sitting in front of the screen, I've sometimes got to get out of my chair, put my nose to the screen to actually see the handicap, because it's written in red text on that light background.
How about control middle mouse wheel?
Yeah, but if you look at the stream, I've got it zoomed in as far as it goes.
I can see it on the stream, and I'm blind.
Yeah, but I think that anything that says a date for a match, in this case...
Did you hear what I said? I can see it on the stream, and I'm blind.
Yeah, well, I'm blind as well, and I've got glasses on, and I still need to... Anyway, that still needs a better contrast. Either a black box around it where the text is white, so it gives you... I
think we should take a vote, because I think it's easy to see.
No, it isn't. There's plenty of people tell you it's too dull. It's not a good contrast with that light background and the red. But anyway.
All right. Go click back to event, and then you can see it on the other one. Better contrast.
See what?
It's listed on back to event. Yeah, go scroll down, and it's listed right here. I put it in just for you, Hugh.
I can't see what you're talking about.
Scroll down. Keep going. Keep scrolling. Further down.
Oh, far
all the
down.
matches right there.
Yeah,
see? They're listed there. You can see them.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yes, I was busy just looking at the bracket, but I wanted to have a rant about the contrast of colours anyway.
And that shows you the time and GMT also.
Yes. I think that was all I wanted to say. Yes, the contrast on handicaps and Friday night 9-ball, because that's the one I do, and also any red text in here in the bracket, it needs a better contrast, and for the people who are partially sighted, i.e. myself. So, I think everybody's gone. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll let Steve get away because he's getting fed up listening to me, I can tell. He goes quiet.
You're doing fine. I'm fairly immune to you, Q. I've been around you enough. I'm pretty immune.
Right.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night. Take care. And we will see you again soon, folks. Thanks for your company. And stay safe. And you too, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Take care.